instantly goes down to zero. It's like, and the moment you do that, all your desires get scorched. It's like Hanuman, you remember in the Ramayana, Hanuman went to Lanka and scorched the whole of Lanka with his tail. What it means is, the first step to managing desire is to scorch them. Scorch them so that they don't multiply. At least then they stop bothering. So, briefly, how do you go about it? Karma Yoga, dedication, is first identify your swadharma, your inner calling, the field of activity that you must engage in. And then in that field, fix a higher goal that is inclusive, not exclusive. Include other people. This is one of the most important things that we need. You know, in our country, there are so many people with so much of talent, such great intelligence, and all of it is wasted because we are not dedicating it to a higher cause. We are not inclusive in our endeavors. One that is collective, not personal. The moment you have a collective ideal, you gain power. You become an achiever. One that is driven by a larger, not just a myopic vision. Unfortunately, because of this short-sightedness, because of this blinkered vision that we have, all our talent goes to waste because we're only running after money. And what kind of money? Little tidbits is enough for us. And because we're full of desire, we're fearful. You know? Pakistan comes and just bullies us a little bit and we succumb. That's what has happened recently. We're getting bullied by every other weak neighbor. Then work hard. 24/7 by 365. This doesn't mean that you're a workaholic. What it means is that focus must be there. The mental focus must be on the goal. Physically, you may do anything. You may take a vacation, you may take a weekend, you may take a holiday. But the focus must be constant. As Oliver Goldsmith said, I felt a secret pleasure in doing my duty without reward. You must taste the pleasure of this, what Oliver Goldsmith is talking about. Then comes devotion. Devotion is a feeling of gratitude for all that you have received in life. It completely changes you. You become a devoted person when you are grateful. Devotion is loving all beings, not going around killing every other creature except you. And devotion is understanding that everything in the world is sacred, divine, therefore you have a worshipful attitude towards it. You know, there's a story of a Swami who was lying down and his disciple discovered that his feet were on the Shivalinga. So he says, oh, this is sacrilege. So he quietly goes and picks up the Guru's feet and puts it somewhere else. And then to his horror he realizes that wherever he keeps the Guru's feet, a Shivalinga appears there. What it means is, everything is divine. Devotion makes you surrender. Surrender to what? Thy will, not my will. The moment you understand that you are up against the collective will, immediately surrender. With the understanding that I don't know what's good for me. And that there is a higher power that takes care of everything in the world. And then the world influences the body, mind and intellect. Even while the body, mind and intellect are being influenced, if you shift your attention to Atman, you will be in bliss in the world. And to end, the formula for happiness is happiness equals desires fulfilled divided by desires harbored. So if you go along with this formula for the time being, if you want to increase your happiness, what must you do? Either increase the numerator or decrease the denominator. If you go around, our attention is on the numerator. However much you improve the numerator, your happiness will not increase until the denominator reduces. Not only that, the numerator is in fact irrelevant. Even if it is low, what really matters is the denominator. If you somehow bring the denominator down, your happiness increases in leaps and bounds. And if the denominator comes down to 0, what happens? Infinite happiness. That's what you're looking for. However much you increase the numerator, you cannot get to infinite as long as the denominator is there. So therefore, the last question is, how do you reduce and eliminate the denominator? What you do is, as you realize the next here, there are grades, there are different qualities of desire. You have physical desires, you have emotional desires, you have intellectual desires, and the last is spiritual. We all have physical desires. You like food? Yes. Yes? Yeah. But when your child is ill, or when your child is starving, or whatever it is, and your focus of attention shifts to the well-being of the child, do you feel pangs of hunger? No. Why? Because you have shifted from the physical plane to the emotional plane. So when you experience intense pleasure, intense sorrow, intense emotion of any kind, the first thing that happens is you're completely free of the physical demands. You are oblivious to even water, leave alone food. You're oblivious to sleep. You're not aware that you are tired. Everything at the physical level goes into, becomes irrelevant because you are so absorbed at the emotional level. You go one step further to the intellectual. When you find that, for instance, a person goes to New York for a very important conference. He flies there, attends the conference, flies back immediately. And the wife says, "Arey, you went to Manhattan, you went to New York. The least you could have done was bought us some things." He says, "But there was no time." She says, "What do you mean there was no time?" But he genuinely, when your attention is on the intellectual, you yourself become completely free from the emotional and the physical. Now what they're talking about is rising to the spiritual. When you are captivated by the desire for the spirit, like Mirabai says, "Having met me, don't leave me alone, don't go." And you're captivated by spiritual desire, all other desires vanish. And that one spiritual desire is so fine, so subtle, that it goes of its own accord. And what is left is Atman. And you have come to that wonderful place where you, the ordinary mortal, has become the extraordinary immortal. When you become Atmavan, full of Atman, you become one with Atman, the world will be at your feet. That's the only way of getting the world, friends. You chase after the world, you won't get either the world or Atman. Look within. You get Atman and the world will come to you. So this is the state of realization that our gurus have spoken about, where you will be humble in affluence and majestic in adversity. So what are the take-home points? Number one, we spoke about how desire enables action, yet desire seems to impede action. We saw the origin of desire is a void, emptiness, which is imaginary, it's not for real. Therefore, what we need is knowledge. We saw how desire distracts and ultimately destroys all of us. And therefore, desire is called the enemy, devil within. We also saw how we need to deserve and not desire. And the way out is most important. The three methods: manage, reduce, and ultimately eliminate desire.